Why does this happen? Let's uncover the hidden truth behind it through the wisdom of our ancestors. Proverbs. You will find the answer at the end of the video.
Hello, everyone. Today we will be exploring a fascinating phrase that, while somewhat comical, sharply captures the nuances of human psychology. It is the Japanese proverb, Iidashi, kokidashi, waraidashi. What kind of impression do you get when you hear this phrase for the first time? The repetition of the action dashi, meaning to let out or bring forth, 3 times gives the phrase a catchy rhythm. But in truth, it depicts the human dynamics surrounding a rather awkward situation. Imagine an unpleasant odor suddenly wafting through the air in your daily life. In that moment, suppose someone speaks up and says, "Ew, it stinks." The people around them will then immediately suspect that the very person who pointed it out is actually the culprit who caused it. It is a phrase that perfectly captures this slightly embarrassing scenario, a situation that may or may not sound a little too familiar to us all.
お前だ! 絶対お前がやったんだ! この目で見たんだからな! あ? もう逃げられないぞ!
Now, let's explore the deep meaning behind this phrase and the Japanese sensibilities that lie in its background. First, let's take a closer look at the structure of this proverb. It contains 3 elements: Iidashi, the one who speaks up, kokidashi, the one who breaks wind, and waraidashi, the one who finds the situation amusing and bursts out laughing. The lesson this proverb imparts is that the person who plays all 3 of these roles is in fact the exact same person. In other words, it sees right through the psychology of someone trying to hide their own mistake or embarrassing act by intentionally causing a fuss or laughing it off. Logically speaking, the first person to notice and point out the smell isn't necessarily the culprit. They might just have a sharp sense of smell, or they might simply be calling attention to it out of genuine concern. However, people in the past found a uniquely human comicality in this case, a case of letting the cat out of the bag by talking too much. Unable to bear the silence, or in a panicked rush to prove their innocence, they end up digging their own grave. The inescapable inherent folly of human nature is beautifully condensed into this short phrase. The origins of this proverb are deeply tied to the culture of commoner humor, comical books, and traditional comic storytelling, rakugo, dating back to the Edo period. People of that era possessed the wisdom to turn minor daily blunders into seeds of laughter rather than taking them too seriously. They likely enjoyed the witch hunt of finding out who did it, not as a strict judgment, but as a joke to lighten the mood. In fact, looking at old illustrations and literature, it becomes clear that commotions over passing gas were a staple comedic trope enjoyed by people of all ages and genders. This remains unchanged even in modern times. For instance, imagine a smartphone ringing during a meeting. Have you ever encountered a situation where the person who immediately glares around the room asking, "Whose phone is that?" turns out to be the one who forgot to mute their own device? Or consider a scenario where a mistake is discovered at work and the person in charge who angrily demands, "Who did this?" later turns red upon realizing it was their own error. All of these could be described as modern-day Iidashi, kokidashi, waraidashi. When we want to hide our weaknesses or mistakes, we subconsciously become defensive, aggressive, or overreactive. However, it is precisely this defensive response that ends up becoming the most powerful confession to those around us. This proverb brilliantly captures this psychological paradox. So, what can we learn from this phrase? It teaches us the courage to admit our faults and the emotional breathing room to laugh off our mistakes. If you make a blunder and frantically point fingers at someone else to hide it, you may only end up tightening the noose around your own neck. Instead, if you can gracefully admit, "That sound just now was me," and turn it into a laugh, the atmosphere in the room will likely become much more relaxed and amicable. At first first glance, the phrase Iidashi, kokidashi, waraidashi might seem like nothing more than a crude joke. Yet at its core, I feel there flows a distinctly Japanese sort of gentleness, a tradition of imperfect human beings mutually accepting one another's flaws through shared laughter. When someone speaks up, instead of blaming them, we watch over them with a warm smile, thinking, they have a very human side to them too. Perhaps this proverb is teaching us to have that kind of broad-minded heart. The next time an awkward silence falls, you might just remember this phrase. Should you be the one to speak up, or should you maintain your silence? Why not try to enjoy even these small inner conflicts as one of the colorful spices of life? Well, how did you enjoy today's discussion on Iidashi, kokidashi, waraidashi? By understanding the human psychology hidden behind our words, the scenery of everyday life might look just a little bit different. Until we meet again to explore our next phrase, please have a peaceful and pleasant day.
今日の話はいかがでしたか？先人の知恵ことわざはまだまだ続きます。次回好奇心の図書館でお会いしましょう。
またね。
I know I've had my share of dead ends, it's a trend. Early mornings filled with regrets, bad feelings. Those days were fun, but now I hate it. I hate it. I never pinky swore on secrets, my lips sipped from anyone who ever loved me the same back. What's the point if you don't get that? I want it.